Well, folks, it's that time again. The world has bid farewell to a true TV icon, the queen of sass herself, Polly Holliday. Yes, the woman who made a simple phrase like, "kiss my grits," a cultural phenomenon, has passed away at the age of 88. But before you reach for the tissues, let's be real, Flo might have left the diner, but she'll never leave our hearts, or our Netflix queues. Polly Holliday was the star of the 1970s to 80s classic sitcom Alice, which followed the misadventures of a spunky waitress working in a roadside diner called Mel's. And Flo? Oh, Flo was the kind of waitress you either wanted to be or wanted to run from, because she served sass on the side of every order. With her big hair, bigger attitude, and an even bigger heart, somewhere under all that attitude, she became a TV legend. For those of you who didn't grow up watching Alice, let me paint you a picture. Flo was the ultimate bossy best friend. She was loud, proud, and never afraid to tell you exactly what she thought, usually with a smile and a side of snark. And, of course, the catchphrase that launched 1,000 imitators, "kiss my grits." A phrase so iconic, it even made it into the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay, maybe not officially, but it should have. Born in Jasper, Alabama, Polly Holliday didn't start her career with a silver spoon or a shortcut to stardom. She hustled her way through regional theater and smaller roles before landing the gig that would define her career. And boy, did she make the most of it. When Alice premiered in 1976, audiences immediately fell head over heels for her character's sharp tongue and even sharper wit. It wasn't just her lines that made Flo unforgettable. Polly brought a unique blend of humor and humanity to the role. She wasn't just a one-note caricature of a sassy waitress. Flo had layers. Sometimes she was tough as nails, sometimes she was downright vulnerable, and sometimes she just needed a break from all the madness in the diner. What made Polly's performance stand out was her ability to balance the comedy with a realness that made you believe Flo could walk right out of the screen and slap you. Lovingly, of course. Her delivery was impeccable, timing perfect, and her expressions? Pure gold. It's hard to overstate just how much Polly Holliday's Flo shaped pop culture in the late 70s and early 80s. You couldn't walk down the street without someone shouting, "Kiss my grits," at you, whether in jest or earnest. Merchandise flew off the shelves, from mugs to t-shirts, all emblazoned with that unforgettable phrase. And let's be honest, it gave a whole new meaning to waitress humor. But beyond the catchphrase and the costumes, Polly Holliday was an actress of real talent and dedication. After leaving Alice in 1980, yes, she actually exited the show at the height of her popularity, because of course she did. She didn't just disappear into the Hollywood ether. She took on a variety of roles, including memorable turns in films like Gremlins and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Her versatility proved that she wasn't a one-hit wonder. She could play tough, sweet, quirky, or downright intimidating, all while keeping that signature charm intact. And if you think Flo was loud on TV, you should have seen Polly at cast parties. Legend has it her laugh could be heard blocks away. In a way, Polly's Flo was a trailblazer. At a time when women on TV were often relegated to the sidelines or stereotypical roles, Flo was a force to be reckoned with. She owned her space, her opinions, and her diner like the boss she was. Sure, she could be cheeky and irreverent, but underneath that was a character who showed women could be bold, funny, and unapologetically themselves. It's also worth noting the cultural impact of Alice itself. The show tackled real-life issues with humor and heart. It wasn't just about pie and coffee, it was about working-class struggles, friendship, and the small victories that keep life interesting. Flo was the perfect vessel for that spirit. She embodied resilience and humor in the face of everyday chaos. And what about that hairstyle? Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of Flo's big, bouncy hair, an unofficial symbol of the 70s. It had volume, it had flair, and it definitely had personality. It was like a hairstyle that screamed, "I'm here, deal with it." Polly's hair alone deserves its own obituary. Now, you might be wondering what Polly Holliday was up to in her golden years. Well, she stayed active in the arts, performing on stage and occasionally popping up on TV and film. She was known to be warm, generous, and ever so slightly mischievous, a perfect reflection of her most famous role. Her passing at age 88 marks the end of an era, but don't be fooled, Flo's spirit isn't going anywhere. Every time someone rolls their eyes and says, "Kiss my grits," Polly Holliday's legacy flashes bright like a neon diner sign. And honestly, the world needs more people like Flo right now, bold, hilarious, and never afraid to speak their mind. So, what can we learn from Polly Holliday and her unforgettable character? For starters, never underestimate the power of a good catchphrase. But more importantly, embrace your sass, stand your ground, and always keep a sense of humor about life's ups and downs. Flo showed us that being tough doesn't mean you can't be kind, and that a little attitude goes a long way. She was a reminder that sometimes the best way to deal with the world is with a smile, and maybe a well-timed, "kiss my grits." As we say goodbye to Polly Holliday, let's remember the laughter, the sass, and the heart she brought to the screen. Here's to Flo, the waitress who served up more than just food. She served up a lesson in living loud and loving big. Rest easy, Polly. You may be gone, but your grit lives on.